So yeah, dating in your 50s. Is that what we're talking about today?
I mean, we can, sure. Why not? I'll be the host.
It sucks. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I'm kidding. It's a joke.
Did you actively get started in dating and you said to yourself, I'm gonna date. I'm gonna find the love of my life. Let's go. Did you intentionally set out on this path, or are you just on your healing journey?
Doo-doo-doo. Ah, oh, oh.
No. I have like ADD, ADHD. I don't know what's
Girl,
happening.
I got them both. Welcome to the club. It's so great to be here.
Fuck.
It's, and the person I'm dating has it. And literally, I would be talking, and I'm like, squirrel. And I'm like, ooh, because we will be like talking about one thing. And then even when I had some friends here visiting, and I guess something happened, and the person was upset because I guess she was talking, but I was like, hey, and then she was like, I was talking. He was like, she does that. It's okay. I do it. Like he totally defended me. It was so cute. He's like, we just both have it. She didn't mean to do it. What was the question?
There are no questions.
Free for all.
And by the way, I don't remember the question.
So, um,
But you were
no, I
saying,
didn't go on any dating sites.
oh my God, my nose.
This is gonna be a blooper reel, blooper reel, blooper reel.
We went from dating and now we're in a relationship.
I'm dating one person.
So
Yes, you asked if I'm dating multiple people. I'm dating one person, and I dated this person in my past, like 18, 17, 18. And
you
yeah, it was cute. It's interesting. Because you kind of feel, when you date, the thing is you don't know the person at all, right? You go out, you meet somebody, and you're like, oh my God, all the fears, all the because all the icks, because you don't know this person at all.
Yeah.
There's
Starting
been
from
some foundation there for us because we feel like we know each other in some way, right?
Mhm.
Because we are sort of innately who we've always been, even with life's circumstances. I've kind of always been me. And even if it's only 5% of me, that's 5% that he's aware of. And I think he feels the same way. Yeah.
How's it going?
It's going well, I believe. I can't speak for my significant other. What I liked about him on our second date, well, the first meetup was like a meetup. It wasn't a date. But then he
So you
asked me,
ran into him?
huh?
You ran into him somewhere?
So I guess we were friends on Facebook, but then he got a new Facebook, and then it said like, "Do you want to be this person's friend?" So I clicked yes, and I was like,
Hmm.
"Just." I always say hi to people that I kind of know, and I was like, "Hey, good to see you. Hope life is well." And he was like, "We'd love to get coffee," and I was like, "I don't drink coffee. I drink tea," like a weirdo. And we met up for coffee, and when he showed up, he had pictures, and he said, "I'm going to bring pictures," but you think pictures of your kids. I don't know. I didn't. Never in a million years did I think he'd bring pictures of us when we dated, and that's what he brought.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, so
yeah,
cute.
and
He
I was
kept them.
very, huh?
He kept them.
He kept them, and he had a picture of me and my grandfather, who was like my only male role model, really. And girl,
Mhm.
technical first date, I'm crying at a coffee shop, but I'm hugging my grandfather with all the love that I knew that I had. And
Mhm.
I was like, I'm sorry, I'm crying. He's like, no, it's fine. And there was just this instant, easy to talk to flow, like
Mhm.
just easy. And
That's amazing.
so it makes you feel more comfortable. Then I think he said something like, I was like, oh yeah, we should hang out again or something. He's like, absolutely. And he's like, by the way, you're absolutely gorgeous. And I was like, me? He's like, yeah, but because you know how you just don't you see yourself as you see yourself. I don't really walk around like I'm so gorgeous because this
Yeah.
is me and this does not look gorgeous to me, but um, so then our first date, we went out, and I remember getting back to the house and just sitting in his vehicle and talking.
Hmm.
And this is where I sort of knew. Well, we talked about like neither one of us being in healthy relationships before. Um, both of us, you know, quick to sex first and not really getting to know the person. Um, we talked about, I mean, if there's no attraction, then why even do it?
So
Um,
you were attracted.
yeah. But
From
I,
first time you saw him, you were attracted?
I mean, yes. And I'm laughing because, yes, he has these beautiful, yes, I was. I mean, I wouldn't say I was like, ugh, but I was
He's
like,
beautiful.
blue eyes.
Oh, okay.
Are, you fall like oceans. You just kind of go deep. But so it just made me want to keep looking at him, that kind of thing. You know, they just kept me
Okay, so let's say not, it doesn't have to be sexually attractive, but were you like drawn, you were like click,
very,
like,
very. I was like, oh, I could talk to him all day. And I
mhm.
didn't even know. And I think we talked about this at the beginning. We talked a lot. We'll get into that. But at the beginning, we talked a lot. But in that, I think we even said like I can just talk to you. And I would call you or call my friends and be like, we just talk. And it's just so easy. It's just so, I'm ADHD, ADD, hyperactive. I bing from one side and he bings. So it's like bing, bing, bing. And it worked, right? It just, and it was just, I was more excited and I was more attracted
Oh.
to how we could just talk. And my banter, I love to laugh. So I think I'm kind of a comedian, but and he just catches it. You know, some guys be like, wait, what did you say? And they get real square and you're like, oh God, like,
Right? Oh, did I offend you? Oh my
yeah,
God.
uh,
Snooze fest.
sorry, I was just making a joke. You know, I not like that at all. He really got it. And
So he embraced your full personality.
full person. And I was my full self day one because I'm older.
Hmm?
I'm older. I've
Mm.
been through a lot of shit. And I almost kept saying to him, I don't really have the time. I don't have a time for anything that ain't anything. Like I just don't have the time. It was almost like the date one is like, are you intrigued? Are you attracted? Are you intrigued? Okay. So do you want to try another one? Like it was kind of like, because if there's nothing there, then leave me alone. Like we can be cool. We can be friends. So that's been, so I'm very new.
Okay, but does it feel any different than like it felt when we were younger?
Oh, completely.
It does?
Completely.
Why?
Because I don't give a shit.
Hmm.
That's a lie. I just said a lie. I totally care. You know, older people like, I just stopped caring. No, I totally care. I
So, do you obsess like about
Yes,
the little
I am
things?
unhealthily healthy. I what I do like about him is I'm able to verbalize my obsession or my crazy thoughts. The thing is we spend a lot of time talking at the beginning and I was very transparent about my own triggers, my own trauma, my own feelings about me,
Hmm.
especially when it comes to relationships. So, and he has some of the same. So, like he said, like this is, he has never really had healthy and figuring out how to be healthy when you've kind of never been healthy. And healthy means honest, open, communicating, like all the things they tell you. But I have, based on my past, I have a lot of self worth issues. Um,
Mm. I thought you were ending it, period, but you're like issues.
I'm a little baddie, but I embrace the baddie. I don't run from her. I just, and he feels like a safe space. And I will say this is ultra unorthodox. It's not, I'm not going to be like, Paula, get out there and it's going to be the same thing. I have no idea. I am kind of a black or white, all or nothing. You're in or you're out, which is not how relationships should be. So working on that while I'm actively dating or in a relationship is hard for me. You know, I overthink and I'm trying not to. I work on it. The thing is, I'm the most settled, unsettled individual right now, and I don't know how to, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like, even, um, I used to, which I'm sure a lot of people do, equate sex with love, right? So if somebody loves me without sex, I'm like, do they really love me? Do they really like me? If they're not
Trying to have sex with you.
constantly, I mean, we could have a healthy sex life, but what's a healthy sex life? Is it once a week, 3 times a week? Is it every day for 5 days and then not for 8 days? Like, I don't know those things, but my past, somehow I got this message that says, if you're not physically doing or actively, physically, sexually doing with me, then you don't love me, like me, value me, which are all lies. I know that here, but it doesn't always register here,
Yeah.
right? And I don't know if you struggled like with the value of you part, you know what I mean? And if you have, maybe that's some of the things that keeps you away from dating. And that's from your trauma, don't you think?
No, that's from me fucking bossing up and being a boss bitch and being like, no, you little motherfuckers, I don't have time for you anymore. Grow up, show up, or get the fuck.
But for them to grow up and show up, you got to let them show up. Yeah, man. She's
Well,
like, do I? I don't know. I
I
am.
I don't know. I'm just like very interested in how you are doing and how successful it is for you and the fact that you
I'm
just
a fucking basket case. I am falling for him, and I know it's too soon, and I shouldn't. But should I not? What are the rules? I don't
wait,
know.
falling for him. Like, what does that feel like right now? Is it different than what it felt like before?
I feel
I mean,
scary.
it's been
It's
3 months. Are you
say it's
like
different is
fucking moved
because
in already?
no, I want to be. No, that's
Oh,
my
do
problem.
you?
I mean, I could, but I I mean, you said it. I love love. I love to nurture and be there and I don't know. But before I used to do it in spite of me. Now I want to do it with and I want to, I want it to be a partnership. And right now it's so early, but it feels like that. And the reason why it feels different is because I am more aware and I've been through so much more in life. So taking it in at this point is almost scary. I was kind of balls to the wall. You saw me. I didn't give a fuck. So I was like, yeah, bitch,
I
fuck
could,
man, fuck
ugh.
man. Like in my 20s and 30s, like whatever. So now I'm very aware and I'm aware of my trauma and I'm aware of the healing. And I'm so fucking aware that this is killing me.
I mean, you say some interesting things to me, and then you say some other things, and then I forget about what I want to follow up on, but you're like, part of you feels settled and unsettled. You said you're the most settled, unsettled. I want to know if that's in yourself or in the relationship.
In myself. The relationship, if I look in at it from a healthier perspective, I'm like, this is everything. This is I'm just so
Does
happy and
every part of you align with that? Your mind, your body, your spirit, your soul, your heart, all of that lines up to I
no,
what?
no. All everything that aligns with being settled and just in this amazing moment is from my neck down. My head has fear and it will not allow me. I can't even see the good. I get so quick to what's wrong instead of what all the things that are amazing. I can't sit in that. And that is something that it's a me thing. It's not a him thing, right?
Hmm.
I can't.
That sounds like your brain.
That's what I'm saying. That's from here down. I'm so like,
No,
this.
because they say that our brains get wired around trauma. So much so that it actually changes the brain, which means when you're saying that this is not on board, you really 100% mean it. Like your brain is probably still functioning out of the way it was formed around the trauma because you were traumatized at a very early age, first from adoption, which is trauma. And that's what people don't understand. They're like, oh, it's amazing. It is amazing. It can be amazing, but it's trauma because you're literally, like you say, ripping a kid from the womb. Maybe not like fucking literally, but almost in some cases. And then it can be like you could be a little bit older, but your brain gets formed around that experience. So then you're forming thoughts around rejection, abandonment, fear, trauma. Oh my God, is it me? Oh my God, what's happening? And nobody's ever really probably fundamentally worked that out with you and helped your brain kind of go and like settle all those things that are still based in trauma. And so as you have become an adult, you went through more trauma in that relationship situation. So then it was trauma on top of trauma. So your brain is still like a trauma brain. It isn't like a healthy
My
brain
fear,
yet.
yes. When I say again, this is why you're my best friend because nobody, I can tell other people what I'm, and they're like, you're gonna, they just say very harsh, almost makes me feel bad about myself. You know, like you're gonna ruin it. You're just, if you don't get help, you're gonna, and I'm just like, well, how about you just understand, you know? So thank you for that. Because you just literally said what I am literally trying to say. Like, it is here and he can do all the right things, right? It doesn't matter. I can't, I can't connect to it. I can in retrospect. Like, I don't, it's like an out of body. I can be like, yes, but my brain will still be telling me something different while I'm literally fighting it in real time. In real time.
Yeah, that's a brain issue. And also, they say our brains, because of the trauma, find ways to protect us. So all your brain is doing is what it's always done, which is try to protect you from having to go through the pain you went through with the initial trauma, which means your like brain is trying to protect you from probably really getting invested because the first time you loved, which was your biological mom, and this is how I see it from being an adoptee. Your fucking heart was broken into pieces. Your fucking soul was ripped out and torn to shreds. And it was just like you were left there, bloody, fucking beaten up, torn apart, just fucking desecrated on the ground. Somebody comes and scoops you up, puts you in another family, but never talks to you about the fucking pain you just went through to get there. And so you're just like, okay, you just fucking try to keep it moving. You try to do the best you can, but your brain is like, oh my God, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But I think you had a breakthrough moment because you realized, oh yeah, your brain is wired around trauma.
Well,
Uh
you helped me see that. You verbalize what I've been trying to articulate to maybe other people, but if those people don't understand, I mean, there's an understanding that you have based on similarities, right? Adoption, abuse, neglect, trauma. So when you articulated that, it was an aha moment. It just clicked. Like, that's what I've been trying to say.
Yeah.
But when I try to say it and they think they're helping, but just make it a me issue, it just makes me feel more like a failure.
Yes. And that's the thing that I'm glad that you're breaking through and understanding is that there is so much amazing about you. Even in your mistakes or even in the flaws or whatever, that isn't bad. Like we all are imperfect. We all have, sometimes we're going to get it right and sometimes we're not. Doesn't make us bad people. But because of the timing of our trauma is when in our developmental stage, during a time when we think everything is about us, that's developmentally healthy. It's unhealthy when you experience trauma and then nobody's talking to you about it. And then you think this bad feeling inside of me must be me because that's the only way little brains can process. We don't have the advanced processing mechanisms in our brains yet, which there's all these words for. I'm not a fucking neuroscience, but scientist, but like what I'm saying still is based in the science because we don't have the advanced ability to think anything else. It's just at that age, when we're that young, it becomes there must be something wrong with me. And then you had a mom who would tell you bad things and make you feel like there's something wrong with you and make you feel like you are hard to love and make it seem like you're the problem. So then that theme just got played out for the rest of your life as you were growing up. You're the problem. In every situation, your ex, who was the problem? Oh, you were. And to the extent that you tried to not believe it, but because of your foundational brain formation, you only had the capacity to, it's called, the skill is called self affirm. We didn't get the skill to self-affirm in a positive way. So I don't know if self-affirm is in the negative as well, but what we did was negatively affirm ourselves because we felt like bad, wrong, the problem, all the words. So you're reinforcing what you believe to be true, not only inside of you because you're a little kid going through trauma from adoption, but also when you were then being raised by a mom who kept saying it to you.
You know what's crazy, Pete? I love, love, love my mother, and I know that people do the best they can. But even in my older age, most of the stories she always brings up are all the things that I did wrong. Or, yeah, it's never, and maybe that's her journey with me. Like, I don't know. I can't speak for her. It's just, um, I spent so much time trying to prove to her that I was better than what she said I was. But I've never gotten the validation of like, that's not true. I'm sure she has said it. I just don't retain it. But
Mm, babes. It's
yeah.
okay to be fucking brutally honest with what you needed and what you didn't get. We both feel very appreciative for our parents and we feel like they did their best and they showed us love and they provided and we're not taking anything away from them in that respect. I think it's just also and you had trauma that wasn't addressed and it is not to her. It isn't because she didn't try the best that she could try, because I all the adoptive parents do their best. They don't know. I feel like adoption culture does not educate on the fact that the little people you are becoming a parent to, are going through a lot of grief and loss and pain. And so, and they're absorbing it all as if it's their fault. They are bad. So the little girl inside of you who just needed to feel like she was good, and if you ever got that validation, I 100% know you would fucking remember the moment.
You goddamn right. I would. So I don't think I've ever gotten that. And I think it's sad now because she's mentally not able. And I remember when the man that my mom was married to for 10 years was dying. And my sister kept saying, "We need to come, you need to come say bye." And I was having trouble with that because I didn't have a relationship with him. And so a pastor had called me. Well, my sister sent her rabbi. Her rabbi actually called me. And she said to me something so profound. She was like, "Well, here's the thing. You're never going to get what you need from him or the validation or even him hearing you. So you have to decide whether you have to let that die because he's actively dying. And either you say goodbye, because that's all that really is there to do. And you have to decide if that's important to you or not." And I feel similar to my mother because she is physically here, but mentally, that this disease eats at the brain. It's sad. And it's hard for those that are watching it happen, knowing that I'll never get something that I probably need from her or would have liked to get from her. Even, if somebody has sort of said you're the problem your whole life and you worked really hard to show them that you're not the problem, no matter what you did, everybody wants the moment for that person to be like, "You're not the problem." You know what I mean? I think that's innately in every single human being in some form of their life, where somebody says they couldn't do something, they didn't do, you know what I mean? Just that validation. I think that's why, I think our kids laugh at us because I know I talk to all strangers. I talk to people. Because I always want them to be seen.
Hey, wait, pause. You are not the problem. I'm super proud of you. I'm
Thank you.
so proud of you. I'm not your mom, but I love you like I am your blood. And I have always loved you just completely. You're not the problem. You are so amazing. And you are so worthy of being fully, fully loved for who you are. You are not the problem. You're so amazing.
Thank you, P.
Just let that sink in because when you let yourself have moments that you might not remember in 15 minutes, but your brain starts to accumulate them. And over time, the pathway to I am good will form because it's true and it's just a wrong pathway. It's just a wrong pathway that got developed in your brain. It is nothing else. There's no truth in that pathway except for it was the one that got reinforced.
Over and over. Yeah.
And not even intentionally. I think your mom was trying to do what she could do to mitigate pain for you, even like from her own trauma, from her own disappointments, from her own grief. I mean, because you were raised by a grieving woman.
Yeah. I even realized how tumultuous her relationship was with her mother as an adult. How
Oh,
she, same thing, would get kicked out, was not the pretty one. like she would just tell me how mean her mother was to her, and I just I was her unhealed wound. I mean, I was that, you know.
Yeah. And every time she looked at you, that's probably what she was seeing. And it was triggering on so many levels for her in so many ways. And unfortunately, that's how we parent. I mean,
That
we all do the best we can, like you fully acknowledged with your mom. It's just at the same time, it's okay for us to also acknowledge I didn't get my needs met in a very real way that I needed to meet them. So if they can't get met with that person, even the psychiatrist said we can meet them for ourselves, or it will happen in relationship with others. He said trauma happens in relationship and so does healing. And I feel like when you have the moments, and I, like you, want to take the moments and I want to help the people I love heal their trauma in ways that I can be validating and in the ways that I can self-affirm. And I feel like I've always known this about you. I've always been saying this, but it's even been hard for you to hear because the trauma is so much louder.
so fucking loud. It's so loud. I have a I'm surrounded by a lot of people, but I have a person in my life that has mental illness. And in so many ways, I understand her because she always says the voice, they're so loud. I cannot quiet them. And I have them too, but it's like it's trained to, it's my voice that I hear, but it's all the bad, right? And I'm like, I got to say three nice things about myself every day. I have yet to do it. And I said that on a Sunday.
Well,
I've
let me
yet
tell you, it will transform your life. So I was feeling like I was at a place where I wasn't understanding myself and I wasn't understanding my motivations for things I was doing. And I wasn't understanding where I was coming from and the decisions I was making. Like, why am I making this decision? And like, I just couldn't figure it out. And I set on a journey to love myself in 2000 fucking 13. It's 10 years later and I'm still like, what the fuck? I got through some things because my son and my daughter helped me get through some limiting thoughts I have and then helped me see myself. And then I decided I was driving past this place. We went into this little area. I was like, I decided at least I'm going to have a good day today. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to have a good day today. I don't even fucking care. I'm going to do something I like, something that will make me feel good. And then while I was there, I walked past and there happened to be like a little farmer's market. And it was so cute. And I'm like, oh my God, this is cute. It reminds me of LA. It reminds me of Venice Beach. Like, oh, I love this. And
yeah,
then I walked past a tarot reader. Now, when I was a Christian, like in the church, they were like, that's the devil. That tarot readings and card readings and anything outside of Christianity is the devil. And so I was like walking past it, but I could tell in my heart, I wanted to sit down. I wanted to do that. So I was like, no, F that. I'm gonna go sit down. But I didn't. I walked out and I left. And then Shawnee sat down because Shawnee, she's like, whatever. She's not fucking
yeah,
programmed to think or
yeah,
feel certain things. So she was just like, oh, this looks cool. Let me see. She sits down, she gets an amazing reading. She was like, gets in the car, like, Mom, you should do that. And I was like, I
yeah,
totally wanted to do that before you did it, but I couldn't do it. She's like, you have to do it. And I was like, I do. But I was like, don't worry about it. I'll go back another day. She's like, really, Mom? Knowing full well that's my thing. When I say, oh, I'll do it another day, that's my thing of no, it's never going to get done. And if it gets done, it's going to be fucking years or so much
yeah,
time. She's like, really, Mom? Are we doing that now? Like, you know what you're doing. And I was like, I am. I'm fucking doing it again. I'm putting off something I really want to do. Why? Why am I doing this? So I fucking whipped that bitch around. I pulled back up and I put my name on the list and I sat and I waited and I waited and I waited and finally it was my turn. She fucking read me because of course she can because it's not witchcraft. It's just fucking tuning into energy that I am giving.
yes,
It's not
yeah,
it's not fucking sorcery. And she was saying all the things and she pulled the cards and she like pulled the Empress card and like she was just saying all of the stuff which I was totally tuned into and she was like a few things for you. You need to wake up every morning and write 5 things that you love about yourself. Real things. And not the same thing over and over and over and over. So she's like, when somebody gives you a compliment, you're like, oh yeah, I really like that about myself too. Instead of what? And
Yeah.
confused.
Why would you say that? Yeah.
I had to let you know of because you were saying you're going to do self affirmations about yourself. And what I'm saying is 5 things, dude. Write it down in a journal and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then keep going. And like I have pages and pages full, and I could feel myself literally coming alive inside me where I was like, oh, I really do love that about myself. Whoa, I love that too. And oh, I love that too. And even if it was something that other people might not have liked or
Ever mentioned?
yeah, I was like, no, oh, I love that. I love this. And you just have to start. It's not easy at first. You're like, I love my eyes. I love my face. I love my skin color. I love my hair. But then wait, it gets really super interesting. You start saying some things about yourself and you're like, oh my God. It's like totally up to us. So I really encourage you to do it. It really, really does fill your bucket.
I love you.
I love you too.
I love you for all the good, for all the bad. I don't know what's bad about it. Let me see. Should we? I love you for no, but I do. Like I have also watched you grow over the years. I have also watched you go ebb and flow. I've seen you go up and down. I've almost probably seen you closest to your worst at certain times because I know that you've seen me. I mean, we've had a couple worse that I didn't think would be worse, and then it gets worse. But to love truly, I think, is to see the other person fully, right? Yep, and to choose to be in their life regardless of the scars or the scrapes or the bruises. And from the first time I met you, I just and the people around us knew it. Like it's just how you see me.
Fucking hot now.
Nobody else sees me. I can't think of another person on the planet that sees me in the mindset that you see me. So when you speak, I hear you. Does that make sense?
Dude,
Like you
totally.
talk to a lot of people, but you like because they see you in the I don't know what they see you like, but when you talk, I don't feel bad about my scars or my battle wounds, or I just love the feeling of love that I get from you. And hopefully you get the same in return because the best relationship is to make sure that it's a two-way street, you know.
Absolutely.